Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher Circus. Today we are bringing back the VESTAL, we're bringing back Scylaac Special. To anyone who doesn't know, this is one of the original double stun teams. It's been around for ages, and basically the whole idea behind it is that you have a bounty hunter and an arbalist, so you know, the perfect damage mark duo, and then you bring two stun characters, which basically means that after you get a kill, which is very likely because, you know, you have two stun characters to remove defenders and you have the best damage duo in the game, after you take out a character, you're going to be up on actions and you're going to be stunning your opponent. So this is a very snowball heavy team, especially with the VESTAL, because she doesn't do a lot of damage. She's very good at stunning, but she's not very good at doing a lot of damage. She's not very good at being like a chaotic playstyle kind of character. Characters like the Abomination, which would be WD, can turn matches around because they have a lot of damage. You can do like big crits with the damage and kind of turn the tempo and take back the lead. But with a team like this, you really need to get the advantage early and then snowball it. But once you get like a kill or two, and you have three healing characters, one of them being a VESTAL, like, you are fine, you are perfectly fine. So here I decided to go for, I believe, a stun first on the Flagellant, because I did not want any reclaim action to go down, and after that we just decided to mark this man-at-arms, because he doesn't have a lot of protection. He has the shield spike, so we should be able to get him with a one-shot even with a battle debuff, so nothing I'm too preoccupied about. We went for a stun on the MAA just so he couldn't get a free action by the start of round 2. There was an idea of going for a stun on the Crusader with our VESTAL and then a stun on the Flagellant with our Crusader, but I kind of wanted to take the more confirmed chance on the enemy Flagellant because I didn't really need to stun the Crusader and the Flagellant. I only needed to stun one of them, and I would probably be fine here. So right now I'm choosing, well, do I want to go Smite or do I want to go Stunning Blow? Well, Stunning Blow has like a 25% chance of not doing enough damage. Smite only has like a 10% chance of not doing enough not doing damage at all. It's 85% hit chance, so we just go for it. You might be wondering, well, why do you bring Smite in this team? I'm not sure if it's going to come into effect this match, but it does allow you to take down Flagellants a whole lot easier, because sometimes you're going to be at like 10 HP and you're going to be a little bit greedy. They don't think your Crusader can deal enough damage, like 10 to 12 HP, and your Crusader does like 12 to 19 with a Smite, which is a really big amount. So yeah, that was just a heal from the enemy Crusader onto the man-at-arms, and now there's literally nothing you can do to save him. All you can do is go for some sort of counter pressure or whatever. So we're playing against Bonk here, and he has, you know, relatively decent kind of defensive stress mix and match team. You know, it's not a bad team. It had the man-at-arms to repulse, it has double repulse, which is pretty decent. It has Flagellant and Crusader, you just can't go wrong with it. It had reclaims, and the problem is that against a team that's this aggressive, a mix and match between offense and defense might not be enough, especially when the defense doesn't prevent the first kill. Because if you can prevent the first kill for a while, then, you know, your offense will stack up and eventually you'll be fine. But if you cannot prevent a kill by round 2, and your offense basically is a Crusader in the back, a Flagellant dropping punish, and the Highman just trying to make himself useful, you are not going to have a good time against Scylaac Special, let me tell you that much. So, now there's going to be that action from the Highman, drops the Vendetta. I'm perfectly fine with this. I mean, he's buffing himself up, but he just threw away an action, and he's going to throw away another one. And the thing is, when you get a stun and you're up a character, you're using up your action, and you're taking away your enemy's action. But if you're up a character, you're not taking away just one action of like 4, you're taking away 1 out of 3, which is basically worth 1.33 of your actions. You can look at it that way. Their actions are a lot more pressure than yours are. You have way more to spare than they do. So getting a stun in this kind of situation is just awesome. Now, a Crusader doesn't have a lot of things he wants to do, and the Bounty Hunter is dropping down to this store. So I'm kind of in a weird spot here. I'm not too sure on what I actually want to do, but here's one very important thing about the VESTAL, is that after she gets a crit, she has plus 25% healing skills, which means that even if you have double stun trinkets and no healing trinket, which is what you have right here, it's what you should bring because you always want the maximum stun chance with the VESTAL. Even if you have that setup, you can still heal for a lot. You know, it's a VESTAL. Everyone knows the VESTAL is the best, most reliable healer. And right now, my opponent's down a character. I have 3 actions. They only have 1 for round 3, and I'm about to heal again, and all my characters are in perfect shape, and there isn't really too much that Bonk can do here. So maybe a misplay by me to go for a heal there with the R was kind of throwing away some tempo. I didn't really have to. She's my damage dealer, I wasn't quite at this store, I did not have to go for something like that. Then, you know, my plan here was just, you know what, let's get rid of the bleed, that was a crit earlier, let's just deal with that, and then let's go stun finish him, which is still a lot of damage. So we just do that. Sadly, we don't get a crit with the finish him. You do love to see those. They basically crits for 30. And right now we get to just go first here. He only has 14 HP. We're very likely to do enough damage. There is actually an argument for not running Stabilizing Tiller on this team. I'm pretty sure Scylaac runs it like half the time, and the other half he runs Eagle Eye Talisman. Because you don't really need to bypass guards when you're stunning all the people that are guarding. And this is the best stun team in the Butcher Circus. It's the best team to get stuns. Is it better than WD is the question. Well, we're gonna see that after this. We are gonna play against WD after this match, but yeah. It is the best team for actually getting stuns, because you have to do by stunners, Vestal and Crusader, so if you do like stuns, you will like this team, for sure. So we're gonna drop closer to that store here, but it's perfectly fine. We get to just drop a finish him, and now the Vestal can take away one of my opponent's actions, probably the Crusader, because Holy Lance is a bit annoying, and the Flagellant action is a lot easier to deal with. I can just go for a heal, cure the bleed, and I'll be totally fine. So yeah, a team like this with a finisher. What's its biggest weakness? Well, the biggest weakness is that when the damage dealer is gone, which is the Arbalist, it's really going to be lacking on the damage, because the Vessel doesn't do any freaking damage. If it's down a character, it's pretty much lost, because once again the Vessel doesn't do any damage, so she can't really pull a situation around if you are down the character. And another disadvantage is that having only one finisher character with the Bounty Hunter means that if he's gone, you're never going to have good death row chances again, which is really bad, because you don't really have the space to put a finisher on anyone else. Another disadvantage with this team, there's a lot of disadvantages, that's for sure. A lot of disadvantage with it is that you do not have any accuracy buffs. You have reasonably good accuracy bases, you know, the worst you have is like finish him with 90, and you have decent trinkets like the finisher and the stabilizing tiller and the Tome of Fury on the Vessel, so all those are adding you like 12, 15, 20 accuracy, but despite you having those, if you run against dodge teams, you're going to be totally screwed. Another thing you cannot deal with very well is regen, so unless you can prevent the character that's regening, you will definitely suffer against it, because they're basically regening out of their store, so that's what the Crusader is going to do. He's going to regen out of the store, and then he could possibly go Holy Lance, and he's getting 2 actions for 1, essentially. But you know, he's stunned, and I still have the sniper shot with the Arbalist after this, and then I'm gonna go finish him, I'm gonna heal the Bounty Hunter, I'm gonna do damage to the Flagellant, and there's no way that Bonk can win this first match. So let's skip on to the next one. The match shouldn't be too long. He's definitely gonna go down kicking and screaming with this little Flagellant, but on to match number 2 we go. So now I am playing again with Scylaac Special, and Bonk is playing WD. So he isn't the most expert WD player. He told me that he basically makes his own comps, which is pretty cool, I'm gonna have to say. But I asked, like, could you please play WD? I was trying to get this video going, and it would be pretty fun, and you know, here we are. So I got to go first, which is amazing. When you go first in Mark versus Mark, it's just awesome. And I went for a pull on the Arbalist. Thankfully the pull worked, but my opponent goes for a push on the Crusader, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a stun on my Arbalist from the Manacles, but a push on the Crusader is also viable, because it makes it so I have to Holy Lance, and it also makes it so, you know, I'm down half my health bar, especially since it was a crit. It's not too good, I'm gonna have to say. So we're gonna stun the Arbalist just to make sure that she doesn't get her sniper shot now, or, you know, this round for sure she's not gonna get a sniper shot, which I'm really happy about. And even if there's Holy Lance, unless it's a crit, and you know, 2 crits in 2 actions, I'll be pretty annoyed about it, but there's gonna be a Holy Lance. It has a miss chance, it's very small, but it does have a miss chance. But you know, my Crusader's already down to 11 HP, which is really bad, and you know, there's no way Scylaac Special would do that. Scylaac Special wouldn't bring your Crusader down to 11 HP without using the Arbalist action. There's just no way it does it, unless you had like the Heart Seeker on the Bounty Hunter for plus 25% damage melee skills, and you just went stun, your opponent forgot to clear the stun, and you just go finish him and get a crit out of it. Like, that's the only way. Not having an Abomination for that big damage really does suck. So right now I have 2 options. I can either move back 2 positions, or I can Bola. And ball is good here because it could knock back the Crusader, but I feel like moving back twice here is better because I still get to go first round 2 and the enemy arbals is still marked. So I get to just click here, go for the sniper shot, get a one shot, very very likely, and she's now to 0 HP and I'm causing a lot of counter pressure. Now the good thing about the situation is that, well, it's still going to take me a bit to kill that Arbalist. She can heal herself, and after that I don't really have a lot I can do to actually take her out. But if she does heal herself, then, you know, she's kind of wasting up her action here. And I am in a decent spot with my Crusader, because he's at 11 HP. You need a crit on the stun to actually drop him down to 0 from that, so you're not going to get double value out of it. Now, my opponent goes for a very, very crazy play here. They go for a stun on the Bounty Hunter. And why is that crazy? Well, it's a 90% hit chance, and it's a 90% stun chance. So if you add those up, it's like a 1 in 10 of failing twice, and you know, they failed the 1 in 10 twice. They failed the first 1 in 10, and after that you're down a character. Now, being down a character with WD is not the end of the world. You can definitely pull back some matches, but against Scylaac Special, being down a character, you don't have a chance. I mean, he is going to have a chance, he's definitely going to go for it, but the reason you don't really have a chance is because against 3 healing characters, and with one such as the Vestal that can heal for 11 to 14 base with the Divine Grace, you are going to have a terrible time here, because at 11 to 14 basically means that you do not have like a stun that drops you back down to 0 HP immediately. You need to like rage if you're down on Arbals already. You need to use up like 2 of your actions to deal with 1 Vestal action, and if you're down actions, yeah, there's no way you're gonna win. So here I went for a bit of a misplay going for the heal with the Vestal. I kind of wanted to give myself more HP, but honestly, in hindsight, I could have just gone for a heal with the Crusader himself and just gone for a stun with the Vestal, which would have been better. You know, what would Shepard do? Shepard would stun. that is kind of the idea here. So now my opponent does get to go first, and my Arbals is in position 2, so she's in a pretty rough spot, and my Crusader is down basically his entire health bar. There is a chance for Bonk here, but it's very slim, especially considering that the Bounty Hunter is in position 4, so he doesn't even have access to finish him. Like, that's really maybe the worst part about the situation, is that there's no access to finish him either. Now, there's a lot of plus damage on that Abomination, but he still only deals 5 somehow, some way, because of the Arbal's protection, I suppose. And the Manacle's damage is a little bit unreliable. Like, it can do like a crit for 14, or it can do like 5 damage. It is kind of weird. So here I just stun the Crusader, I basically lock down my opponent, and after that stun I can go for some nasty things. So there was another thing I could have gone for, which would be a stun on the Abomination, and then with the stun I would have plus 60% damage. I could go for a finisher and probably take out his entire health bar, but at the same time the enemy Crusader would have probably gone for a stun on my Bounty Hunter, so I wouldn't have been able to get an action out. So, you know, just stunning the enemy Crusader, you just can't go wrong with it. And now that Bounty Hunter has to kind of decide on what he wants to do. He doesn't really want to go for a pull, because he's going to be repositioning my Arbalist with whichever character he pulls, and he doesn't really want to move forward because he's just using up an action, but he does have to move forward here. So we're going to go Holy Lance to get a mineral out of it, but you know, at least it's a hit. And we pass the turn with the Arbalist. Keep in mind that right now a stun on our Crusader could be really bad, because if it does happen, it could drop us down to 0 HP, especially if there's a crit or a very high roll, and a high roll with the bleed from the caltrops is going to drop us down to 0. So that's one good thing about having caltrops available, is that with your stuns you're basically doing an extra 2 damage. And yeah, there's going to be the crit for 11. You see me a little bit annoyed with the mouse. I'm like, oh, come on, seriously, I had this one in the bag. You're gonna make this take longer for me. And the thing is, this might look like a little bit of an easy choice here. Like, you know, you just go with a heal on the Crusader and you're fine. Well, not really. You can't really go for a heal on the Crusader and you're fine. If you go for a stun on the Abomination, you are not going to heal, and your Crusader dies by the start of next round because of the Bounty Hunter. If you go for a heal on your Crusader, he just transforms and goes for a rage, something like that. So the best choice here is to actually just go for some immediate counter pressure, make that Abomination have to heal himself, and after he has to heal himself, then you can heal, and then you'll be totally fine. You'll have your Crusader action back for the next round, and you'll be back to like 11 to 14 HP, which is totally chill here. And if we do get a crit out of it, it's GG immediately, so that is pretty fun. So letting my Crusader die there, going for like a greedy stun or something, would not have been too good of a play. I could have also gone for a stun on the enemy Bounty Hunter, That was a possibility, but then I could die from either like a double rake or something like that. So I think going for this approach was indeed the smartest I could have done. So the Abomination now, he's gonna transform, he's probably gonna go for either a slam or a rake or something. He's gonna go for a slam. Thankfully though, it doesn't do enough damage, and being put in the back is kind of a blessing here. Well, I am gonna lose my Arbalist healing turn, but I am gonna make it so the Crusader can't reach my Crusader anymore, so I'll be totally chill here. So you can see it's definitely taking us a little bit to edge out a win here. That's WD is definitely a really solid comp. It has a lot of disruption with that Abomination, and it has a lot of potential damage, and it can definitely take back matches. If that enemy Arbalist was still alive, then yeah, I'd be totally screwed here. You can see trying to get a win here is not being too easy, but yeah, I'm gonna stun on the Crusader, and his action is gone right now, and we have to see what this Bounty Hunter wants to do. He can't go for a death blow because I will be bleeding down to this door with this Crusader, and I cannot really move back with the Arbalist. So I could move back with the Arbalist, but I can't move back and heal. That's the thing, so I can't clear the counter's bleed. And now the Crusader is once again put in a spot where the Bounty Hunter is put in a spot where he doesn't really know what he wants to do. He kind of wants to get a death blow, but he doesn't have really any way of getting a death blow, so he's just gonna go for some extra damage onto my Arbalist here, which is definitely the play. So I'm gonna heal the Arbalist, go with your Crusader action first, because the Arbalist does get that plus 15% damage from going last, and now I can drop a bullet here, so 12 damage on the Crusader. Bullet's just really nasty. It shouldn't crit like it does. Honestly, I would be okay with Bullet never getting a crit anymore, or instead of having like the plus 6% crit mod it has, make it have like a minus 6% crit mod. I don't think Bullet should crit as much as it does, because Arbalist is a really strong character in the backline, and after she gets pulled, she's still not weak. Bullet still does a lot of damage. I mean, she's a lot better in the backline, like a lot better, but even when she's in positions 2 on 1, she's still remarkably better than like a Plague Doctor, so yeah. Weird how that works. So now I get to drop a Holy Lance on the Crusader, and at this point it's totally over for Bonk, because even if he goes for heal, I go Sniper Shot, I go Death Blow, and at that point I'll have a 2-character advantage, and he basically failed to get a kill on my Crusader. If he had called in a kill on the Crusader, then maybe he had a shot. This is why you shouldn't surrender playing damage teams, you know. You can always get a little bit of a shot, but if you don't get it, if you get a little bit unlucky, or if you don't get lucky after getting unlucky to lose the first character, then you will not be able to get a win here. So yeah, now regardless of what this Bounty Hunter does, that Crusader will die, and it will be GG for Bonk. So let's skip this ahead a little bit. Yeah, that will be the kill, and I believe there will be a surrender shortly after. Yeah, I believe it's a surrender at the end of this action from the Bounty Hunter, and then we'll go into a match number 3, which we can see is not going to take very long because the video has like 5 minutes left. So yeah, Bonk is going to surrender here, and here we go, on to a match number 3. So this time we go second with Scylaac special, and the WD gets to go first. So what does WD do when it goes first? Now, there's a lot of things it can do. It can go for a pull, or it can go for a more reliable slam. It could also slam on the Bounty Hunter, which would put him in position 4, and that's very difficult to deal with, but there's going to be a slam on the Crusader so there isn't any stuns. And here goes another slam crit onto my Crusader. That's pretty annoying. Did you know that that slam actually had a miss chance? It definitely had a miss chance here. So I'm gonna go Holy Lance. Thankfully I do hit, and I get like an average roll out of it, so not too bad. There's a lot of things I could have done. I could have gone Bola first. I could have gone for a stun with the Vestal. I honestly think if you get pushed to the back, just go Holy Lance. I think that's the best thing you can do. You don't want to get your Arbal stunned. You do not want to be put in a spot like that. So right now there's a few things I'm thinking of doing, but what I go for is stun on the Crusader because I don't want to get stunned, and if I pull the Arbals right now, it's just going to be a Holy Lance onto my Crusader. I'm going to be down a lot of HP, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. So I just stun the Crusader there, and now I can go for whatever. I'm not quite too sure what I decided to do here, I cannot remember all that well, but the Arbalest does not have a mark as of right now, so it's not the end of the world. So we're gonna drop a Caltrips here, we do not get to bleed on the enemy Crusader, which I'm pretty sad about. My idea here was just to do enemy damage on the Crusader between the Caltrips and the Bola, it would have been pretty good. And now there's going to be a sniper shot potentially on the Crusader. Keep in mind that she does 13 to 22 damage and ignores the protection and gets a crit out of it. So with the crit going last does 29 damage, and because I went second round 1 and because I've already used my healer actions, even if I drop 2 bullet crits right now, my Crusader is dead. My Arbalest is in position 1, there's literally nothing I can do against it, and now we're gonna see what I've been crying wolf about the entire duration of this video, is that we are finally gonna be down a character with Scylaac special, and we're gonna have to etch a victory out of this. So I go with the Arbalest first, because I did still have the mark on me. I want to get rid of the mark before I get one shot again, and we just get another crit with the Bola, which is pretty funny. Getting 3 crits in 2 actions. A lot of crits this match, I'm gonna have to say. And I'm also gonna have to say, that initial slam, hitting, critting, pushing me to the back, 20 damage, sniper shot, 29 damage. The crit chances on those are like, what's the crit chance on the A-bomb? I think like a 10%, maybe a little bit more, but I think like a 10%, and the Arbalest was a 26% crit chance. And with crits like that, with going first, there just really isn't much you can do. And now the Abomination gets a crit for 14 on the Manacles. I was thinking to myself, oh, the stun chance on that is a 70, surely it won't work. Yeah, no, Shep, you're gonna get crit for, you're gonna get crit for 14, you're gonna get crit for, oh, what is that? More than a third of your entire health bar by an Abomination. And you might be wondering, how the hell did he do so much damage with the Manacles? Not even Crusader does that much, even with a crit. Yeah, well, he went first, transformed, so that's plus 25% damage. He got a crit, so that's plus 45% damage, and then he manacles with a crit while he has brass knuckles, so that's just a whole lot of damage. If he did have the spiked chain instead of the net, he would have dealt even more, by the way. He probably would have dealt like 16 with that manacles. It's insane how much damage the Abomination can actually go up to. That's something that Scylaac special definitely lacks. And here, even though we go for a stun on the Crusader, we are down actions, and now we have to go for a heal somewhere. I'm hoping for a crit heal with my Divine Grace here, or something very good. We do get a max heal. We do get a max roll on that, but I'm pretty sure it won't be enough. The sniper shot is probably just going to do enough, and that basically means that I just wasted my action while my opponent has 4 of them, which is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I can get a win here still if I do get a kill somewhere. I just need to find a kill, and once I do get the kill, I do have a winning shot. So I get pulled to position 1 here. I don't think the mark really matters because I was probably done for anyway, and now I get to go for finish him on whoever I want. So I go for finish him on this Crusader, and I am gonna have a chance of getting a death blow here, because with the finish him on the Crusader, now you have to make a choice with the Arbalest. Do you want to heal or do you want to flare? If you flare, you would be able to, you know, you could suffer 25% death blow chance, but after that you could be able to go for a stun, go for a heal, whatever. But I do get to go first by round 4 because one of my characters died. So now, even though you heal, I do a Bola. I'm very lucky to roll for 8, because I did went last, and, you know, I did go last, I mean, and the Arbalest does a too much damage with the Bola, so that Crusader is put to death's door. Now there's going to be a Manacles, again, 70% stun chance, works again, so I don't have a confirmed death blow, which means that the only character that can get a death blow right now is the VESTAL. I go for it, I roll for the death's door check, I don't get it, and here I surrender. And you might be wondering, Shep, why do you surrender? You're gonna see that I did get the stun, but I surrendered anyway, because even with the stun, the Arbalest is just gonna heal, the Abomination still has his action, the Bounty Hunter still has his action. I mean, the Arbalest doesn't even need to heal, she could probably just go sniper shot, and then my Arbalest is dead to a finish him, or even a come hitter if I decide to move back 2 positions or something. So yeah, that's gonna be GG for Bonk, definitely well played. I'd say that the teams are both amazing. They serve different purposes. The Vestal team is better at getting stuns, that's for sure. It has 130% stun chance, so it can be better at removing the defender. But the Abomination has that slam power. He has a transformation power, and he can also get stuns all the way to position 3. And he's a lot more useful in position 1 than the Vestal is in position 1. Of course, he's totally useless in position 4, and it's kind of like a counter effect of that. So yeah, you're also missing out on the healer by bringing WD. You can heal yourself with the A1, but that's just about it. And you're missing out on a lot of damage by bringing Scylaac special. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the match, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.